Alright everyone, welcome back. FouseyTube has somehow gotten into drama in 2023, and if you think his past controversies are bad, this one is definitely the worst one I've seen so far. Like, this is career-ending stuff we're talking about here. For those that don't know, this guy FouseyTube is one of YouTube's OGs that has been around for almost forever. He started his channel in the early to mid 2010s and has established himself with over 10 million subscribers. Now, a few years ago, FouseyTube got into a huge drama where he tried to run an event, told everyone Drake was gonna show up, but then Drake never ended up showing up because Drake doesn't even know who FouseyTube is. He literally said he's got no idea who FouseyTube was, so Fousey was just lying to everyone. Fast forward a couple of years after that, and FouseyTube manages to find himself in the biggest redemption arc since Logan Paul. He managed to score a boxing match with Deji Olatunji, KSI's brother. Now, this caused Fousey to work his absolute arse off, and realistically, I can say that Fousey got into pretty much incredible shape. Like, this guy was jacked, bro. I'll probably show a video on the screen right now of what he actually looked like before going into that Deji fight. My god, bro, like, he actually looks so good. It didn't stop him from getting completely belted in that boxing fight though, to a Deji who clearly didn't look as good as Fousey. But the process of this guy going through that fight sort of redeemed himself a little bit. Like, everyone online, including myself, are like, we all kind of respected Fousey for you know, putting all that time and effort into a boxing fight. It's not an easy thing to do. And me personally, I can respect anyone that goes into the ring. You know, it's a very difficult thing to do. I've been sparring boxing a few times, and like, trust me, boxing is one of those sports where like you go in and you don't know whether you're gonna come out like injured, bleeding, anything. Like, I think it goes without saying that anyone who gets into boxing, like, it should be respected. Now, about a year after that fight with Deji, we have new drama and controversy surrounding this guy. So to start this all off, FouseyTube was pretty much doing a live stream in an airport. He was doing like a 24-hour stream or something. I don't keep up with FouseyTube, so I don't really know. But he was doing this on his Twitch account, which is an important factor for later because, I mean, the Twitch account, I'll explain it later. But pretty much he was in between flights at about 8 AM, right? And actually, the timing is very important for this, so I need you to keep that in mind. It was 8 AM at the time that he was doing this stream. And pretty much in between flights, he found like this airport bar, and there was like a bunch of people around it drinking it. I don't know why they were drinking at 8 in the morning, but that's besides the point. There were people drinking at this bar at this airport. And FouseyTube, as a sober man, decided to go over and start live streaming, and you know, he went over to this bar to go and talk to people. And he ran into this girl at the bar who he decided to start talking to. And pretty much what FouseyTube is being accused of is taking advantage of this girl who was at the bar and, you know, was clearly drinking. So let's have a look at this clip.
Such a bad person. I'm such a dickhead. I'm not. I'm a great person.
I can tell.
How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm so good.
It's a cult, basically. I'm not kidding you.
You're in a cult?
Yeah.
You're sober?
Yeah, well,
Okay,
no.
Alright, so 18 seconds in, it should probably be noted right now that this girl is clearly not sober. I mean, you can rewatch that if you want, but like you can just kind of tell. Even disregarding the fact that this girl literally said, yes, I've been drinking and, you know, I'm not sober, like, you can just tell by the way she's acting, the way she's sort of going around about things. For any of you that are like of age and, you know, have been around people that have been drinking before, you can kind of tell that this girl is not completely in it right now. Like, you can just sort of tell by the way she's acting. She's been drinking. Whether she says it or not, she's been drinking. I'll let this clip play out, but I just want you to keep that in mind.
I have a Discord, right? With like 8,000 members. Can I send them a picture of me and you kissing? Yeah. To piss them off? Thank you. They're gonna cancel me for this. I don't care though. I have a boner right now. I swear to God, you can feel it under my pants.
Fousey. What the fuck? What do we have here? What in the world do we have here? Now, the details about this girl get worse as the clip goes on. I really want you to, but like, I really want this to sink in for a second. What, like, this first little bit here. We already have a problem. I think it goes without saying that Fousey is clearly not under the influence of any alcohol during this clip, and the girl is. So already there's like a hierarchy problem here, but you know, like that's kind of obvious. That's the first problem, right? Secondly, the down badness of this makes it just horrible. You want a kiss from this woman to make your Discord mad? Like, bro, what does that even mean? Like, that makes no sense. How is that gonna make your Discord mad? I mean, anyway, like, that is nothing compared to what we have next. Let's have a look at the rest of this clip.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt you with a good time? Would you join the Mile High Club with me?
So I got sold into the sex trade.
You got sold in the sex trade? I actually care about this shit because I'm like an advocate for like against sex trading and all that shit. What happened?
He was trying to make me a lot lizard basically.
A what?
Yeah, a lot lizard. I like her.
Yeah, I get it. First of all, thank you for sharing. I appreciate you being this honest. This is a real conversation.
No, it's real. It happens.
My audience
Happens
might
every
not
day.
understand, but I've been there. I used to be a sex addict, so I used prostitutes for years. I used massage parlors for years, so I understand. How long were you stuck under his spell?
About like 7 months.
Really? I'm sorry to hear that. Look, I just sent you a little something.
Thank you.
I
went to he had a domestic violence case. I'm sitting there in court, and I'm looking at the screen, and I just got my heart started racing. I'm freaking out, like crying, because this girl is saying all the things that he said to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. He's having me sit on his side in the courtroom.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, to everybody who's sitting here like, oh my God, you kissed her, da da da. This woman was involved in sex trafficking. The guy who manipulated her and brainwashed her is a piece of fucking shit and deserves to die. So yes, I sent her $300 so she can start removing her tattoo and see her kids this weekend. I'm against that. I'm a sex addict. A lot of the women that I used to get handjobs from were sex trafficked. And I'm so ashamed in that.
Alright, we have a fair bit to break down here. Obviously, this is a very sensitive topic to be talking about, so I really don't want to delve too deep into it as I'm not really educated on the topic. But even though Fousey didn't know this girl was trafficked, it still doesn't really excuse the fact that he kissed her while she was drunk. And on top of that, it seems a little bit weird to me that he randomly just sent her $300. Like, I get it, it's a kind gesture, and like, she has a tattoo that you want removed, and like I can understand that, and you know, it is nice. But it's just it's a kind of a weird thing to do, like, on stream after you've just done that. Like, I don't know, it just seems odd to me. However, this is by far not the weirdest part of the video. The next part of this clip is where things really start to get bad.
I just joined the Mile High Club. And I know it doesn't count as the Mile High Club because I was in the airport, but I still joined it. I swear to God, I swear on everything I love. I swear on everything I love. I just joined the Mile High Club in the airport, in the men's bathroom. I swear to God, Wallah, I had to confess, I couldn't hold it for a fucking second. I didn't go to buy her no fucking snacks. I joined the Mile High Club. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have shared that. I'm sorry. I'm lying, by the way. It's a joke. It's a huge joke. I'm typing I'm sorry in chat. It's a huge joke. You got pranked by FouseyTube. You got pranked by Fousey. And I got exposed tonight. I'm not a good person.
Alright, bro. Like, where do I even start with this clip? Immediately, we can see the problem. So the first thing I want to point out is that I cut off a little section where the screen went black on stream and like some weird noises were happening. But the time before Fousey left was 8:50 AM, right? The time before the screen went black and like everything went dark. And the time he came back and turned on the camera again, it was 9:20 AM. Half an hour later, right? So the stream sort of just went black for about half an hour. And this guy Fousey was pretty much gone for half an hour. He then comes back in like a jumpy mood talking about how he just joined the Mile High Club, which first off, he just didn't. He was at an airport. And secondly, after it all kind of sets in with this guy that what he just did was pretty horrible, considering she just said that she was a sex trafficking victim, he immediately backtracks and starts saying, oh no guys, it's a joke, it's a horrible joke. Everyone can have their opinions on this, right? And there's no real way of 100% proving that Fousey did this or he didn't do this because obviously there's no evidence for it. But let's use our fucking common sense here. There is no way in hell that Fousey would come back all excited and all in a jumpy mood if nothing happened in those toilets. So let's go on the assumption that it did happen, right? Because it most likely did. Why on earth would Fousey do this, bro? Like, genuinely. Now, there's the response video that Fousey made, and I'll get into that in a second, but just disregarding that for a second. Like, what goes through your mind when something like that happens? And keep in mind, Fousey was sober, by the way. This isn't a thing where, you know, he just made a bad decision because he was under the influence. He was under the influence of nothing. And that makes it worse, to be honest. That honestly makes it worse. Because the girl in this clip was. But anyway, after this all went live on Twitter, right, everyone was calling out Fousey for this. And he decided to make a response video, like I mentioned before, in his YouTube channel, going over all the accusations and talking about everything that it was essentially being cancelled for. And this was his response right here.
The issue was I walked to a bar as a sober man because I shouldn't have been in the bar in the first place. But I saw a chance for content, so I saw a woman, so I sat next to her. And of course, oh my God, 33-year-old man-child starts rizzing her up. But she was very receptive and she was very sweet. She was throwing it back at me too. Yes, she had been drinking, and I actually called that out right when I sat with her.
Well, I reckon the reason she was so receptive, Fousey, was maybe because she was not only drunk, but clearly a traumatized person. What this woman went through could only be described as absolutely horrible, right? And again, I'm not too educated on the subject, so I really don't want to get into it that much. But what I do know is that when someone goes through something as horrible as that and is intoxicated at the same time, they are in a very vulnerable state. So for Fousey to take advantage of that is a pretty shit thing to do. And honestly, even if Fousey in like the 1 out of 1,000 chance didn't do what he said he did in the bathroom, even just him kissing her is enough for like Twitter to just go crazy and for people to rightfully call him out. Because like, again, like you just don't do that. Now the next part of this clip is pretty much Fousey explaining what he actually did when he went off camera, or at least trying to explain what he did.
I get up. I forgot what I was trying to do. I had some bit planned, and we walk off camera a bit. We're on camera, but we walk back, and I give her a real hug, and she thanks me. She's so grateful. I sent her, I think, $300, and the chat sent her $2,500. She was going to see her daughters, and she only had I forgot how much. She had nothing in her Cash App, so we gave her $3,000. She was so grateful. She was smiling. So I said, do you want to walk and talk? So we walked and talked. You know, I tell her, I go through this, I go through that, I go through this, I do that, all this shit. What does my dumbass do? As if you always need content, and as if just, you know, 10,000 viewers in the airport isn't enough. That's the addiction of clout. You need more. So what do? I run back to the camera, I sit down, and I think I even said, Wallah, I said I joined the Mile High Club. I use this woman's pain, her story, her life, for my content. And that's, I have no words for that. If you guys want to cancel me for that, feel free. Dead ass. I don't want you to cancel me for the bullshit you guys are saying about he fucked this girl, he did this. I pray Fajr in the airport. I don't fuck girls in the airport. I've been celibate for over a year. People know that. I say that. But I used this woman's pain, I used her struggle, I used her story, and I turned it into a joke.
Now that was a bit of a longer clip, but let me break that down. Here he is pretty much denying that anything actually happened, which to be honest, I call complete bullshit. There is no way you come back all jumpy and happy if you've just had a serious heart-to-heart conversation with a girl, and he just made a funny joke for the content or whatever. This guy quite literally said, on everything I love, and then wallahi, which I'm pretty sure is like a religious term, I just joined the Mile High Club. That is what this guy said. Like you can interpret that how you want, but I wouldn't think that someone who is innocent and, you know, just had a heart-to-heart conversation with a girl comes back and says that for the content. Like, that just doesn't really make sense to me. I just personally don't believe that Fousey only went and talked to this girl for half an hour and then came back and said all this sort of stuff and then immediately just regretted it, you know, oh, it was all just a joke. I don't think it was a joke. Anyway, what do you think in the comments? Do you think Fousey's innocent? Like, do you think the accusations are real? Like, what do you lot think? Click the video on screen right now because YouTube thinks you'll enjoy it, and I'll see you all over there. Bye.